Hello, everyone out there in YouTube land. Welcome back to Diego Knows. I, of course, am Diego. And today we're going to continue to talk about Officer and Gentleman. That's right, Officer and a Gentleman, that romantic movie that we all fell in love with back in 1982. Well, no, we didn't. I sure as fuck didn't. I didn't even see the movie until like somewhere in the mid 90s. Okay, because I was a little kid when the movie came out, so when I was that age, I wasn't really into romantic adult movies. Okay, not my thing. But I watched it later on. I actually watched this movie in the late 90s to prepare myself for joining the Marines. I decided I was going to join the Marines. I was watching these military movies to kind of like to prep myself for what was coming ahead of me here. And this was one of the movies that I picked. I had never seen it before, but I'd heard a lot about it my whole life. So I decided, okay, I'll check it out. What the hell, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it back then. I recently rewatched it to review it because I know it's in the top 20 of the best like romantic chick flicks of all time. And I watched it again, and the movie still holds up. It still holds up. Okay, this movie, I'm putting it in two different categories. Okay, this is also going to be chick flick praise, which means it's a chick flick that I like. Okay, because I don't just review chick flicks that I hate here. Okay, although that is mostly what I review here. Chick flicks that fucking suck. All right. And also, because they're not realistic. And also, I'm going to put this in the category of chick flicks for guys. Okay, because men can learn a lot. Not so much from the dialogue and the story of this movie, but if you can read between the lines, okay, you can learn a lot about female nature from this movie. Okay, about what your gender role is and what you're expected to do in a relationship and what they're expected to do in a relationship. It's all in there. Okay, they don't throw it in your face, but if you can, if you can read between the lines, you can basically see what's really going on here. Okay, everyone's got an agenda. Okay. The movie's not going to point that out because if they did, then it would break the spell. Okay, it'd break the spell they're trying to put over you. Okay, but absolutely, there's definitely some messages being communicated here that are very very subtle, but they're in there. Okay, nonetheless. Okay. Now, one of the reasons I wanted to review this movie is because, like I said, I was in the military myself. This movie prepped me for it. Okay, and I had my own experiences in romance in the military. Okay, I kind of know what it's like. All right, so I'm going to put in my own anecdotes here as well because I do have some experience in this area here. All right, so that's what we're going to talk about here. Now, this is part 3 of my review of Officer and Gentleman. I already gave you the backstory. I already told you who directed it, who starred in it. You already know that shit. It's fucking Richard Gere and Deborah Winger. Those are 2 main stars, and Louis Gossett Jr. Okay, those are the 3 main stars of this movie. Okay. Keith David, of course, he plays Sid Foley. I guess he's in there too. All right. Yeah, those are basically the main characters in this fucking movie. All right. What I want to get out of the way real quickly here is what I do here is I'm going to give you a straight man's point of view. For those of you that really want to know what a guy thinks about this shit and not get any fucking bullshit, let's face it, your boyfriend, your husband, your dad ain't going to fucking tell you the truth, ladies. If you're watching this video right now, they're not going to tell you the truth. I'm going to fucking tell you the truth, okay? Uncensored. I'm going to give you a straight up dose of truth, baby, with no lube. No lube, all right? The real question you need to ask yourself is, can you handle it? Can you handle the truth? Because you're going to get it, baby. You're going to get it all the way up there. That's right. And if you can't handle it, get the fuck out of here right now, okay? I don't care who I offend. Okay, I'm going to tell you straight up, baby, exactly what's going on here and what guys really think about this movie. But luckily, in this case, it's not that bad. It's actually pretty good. There's some good stuff here. There's some bad stuff, too. There's some good stuff here, okay? This movie is actually pretty good. I actually enjoyed it a lot. Okay, I thought it was very charming. A lot of cool twists in there, And one of the best things I like about this movie is there was another movie I reviewed called High Fidelity. That was in a chick flicks for dudes category, and in that one I kept talking a lot about how I related to that main character from High Fidelity, John Cusack's character Rob Gordon. Okay, I totally understood that guy, the emo-ness, the living in that. I even lived in that neighborhood. Okay, that they filmed the movie in. All right, so I mean, I knew that area. I knew that guy. Okay, totally understood that guy. And I'm happy to say that I knew this guy too. I knew Zach Mayo's character very well. Okay, I know what it's like to be like Zach Mayo. I know exactly what he's thinking throughout the entire movie. Nothing he does ever fucking shocks me or surprises me like it does the women in the movie. Okay, I know exactly why he's doing what he's doing and why he's doing it. I know exactly. Okay, I totally understand this character completely. Okay, very well written character. Okay, and just so you know, the guy that wrote this movie, his name was Stewart, I believe. What was his name? Douglas Day Stewart. He wrote this movie. He bases this movie on his own real life experiences going to Officer Candidate School in the Navy. Okay, so basically this happened to him in real life, and then he wrote a screenplay about it. But in real life, he left the girl there. How realistic is that? Yeah, very realistic, okay? But I'm jumping ahead of myself. All right. I'm going to give you a straight man's point of view, so I hope you can handle it here, okay? So where we left off last time is Zach Mayo. We were introduced to his dad, who's this piece of shit fucking squid. That's Marine talk for fucking sailor, okay, Navy guy, okay? He's a piece of shit. He didn't really want him. Zach's mom committed suicide, so he ended up having to go to the Philippines. That's where his dad was stationed in the Navy. So he grew up there. He learned martial arts over there because he got his ass kicked as a kid. He also fucked a lot of prostitutes because that's what his dad liked to do for fun. So of course he introduced his son into that lifestyle. There's always some fucking Filipino whore in his fucking apartment, which I guess is not that bad, when you're fucking 11, 12 years old and you're getting to fuck all these girls, all these fucking hot young Asian girls. Yeah, it ain't a bad childhood, right? It's not. But because of that experience, he's very well read sexually, okay? The movie don't tell you that, but it's implied, okay? He knows his way around a fucking clitoris, all right? Let's just put it to you that way, okay? He knows what he's fucking doing, okay? He grew up with women throwing themselves at him. He grew up learning how to fucking satisfy women. This establishes confidence, his ease around women. He's very confident around women, okay? And he's very dominant as well, okay? He's very alpha because his dad was that way. His dad was a big bragger, big alpha guy. All he did is to brag about all the girls that he fucked and drinking all the fucking time, and acting like a man's man. Okay, that's what his dad was, and he passed it on to his son, okay? His dad's an asshole, doesn't want to be a dad. He just wants to fuck a lot of girls and get drunk all the fucking time, doesn't want to raise a kid, and he kind of passed it on to his dad, okay? Because his mom fucking checked out. She committed suicide when he was like, 10 or 11 or something like that, and so he was forced to live with his dad. His dad did not want him, but the Navy said he had to take on his son, and so that's the kind of childhood that he had. So he had some good stuff in there, some bad stuff, but that turned him into a very conflicted adult. Now, he's not a bad guy, okay, but he is an asshole, okay? Zach Mayo is an asshole, okay? He's very stoic, very off-puttish, okay? He decided that he wanted to join the Navy and become an officer. Now, his dad was an enlisted in the Navy, okay? His dad tells me, you're not cut out, you've got tattoos and shit. I mean, you're not like, we're basically white trash. You and I are basically white trash. We're not gentlemen. Okay, just because you graduated from some fucking sissy college, which I never did, but you're not cut out to be an officer. You got to give away 6 years of your life. You say you want to be a fucking fighter pilot, you might as well just fucking say you want to be president of the United States. Okay, you got just as much chance. Okay, they're not like us. You want to be an asshole, piece of shit. The fucking those uptight fucking stuffed shirt fucking officers. Blah, blah. And Zach Mayo, you can kind of tell that one of the reasons Zach Mayo wants to become an officer is he wants to fucking put it to his dad. Basically, he's like, hey dad, I'm gonna prove that I'm fucking better than you. Okay, I'm gonna become something that you're not capable of being. Okay, I'm gonna be an officer in the Navy. You're just a fucking enlisted man in the Navy, but I'm gonna become a fucking officer. That means that someday you might have to salute me. How you like them apples? That's basically what he's telling his dad here. Okay, and his dad's trying to talk him out of it, but his dad's a fucking drunk. He's still a piece of shit, whoremongering guy, that he was, 20 years earlier. Okay, he still abandoned Zach Mayo's mom. He promised that he would fucking come back for them, and take care of them, but he never fucking did. Okay, and of course Zach Mayo says that that's the reason. He found his mom's letters after she killed herself, that's the reason that his mom killed himself was because his dad broke her heart. Okay. That's kind of a cop-out, obviously this movie's not going to give you the specifics of what happened to Zach Mayo's mom, okay? Anything that we know about what happened to his mom is from his point of view and his limited knowledge and limited resources that he had when he was a little kid, okay? But nobody commits suicide because of one person. Now that might be a triggering event or something, but nobody ever commits suicide just because one person rejected them, okay? It's a buildup of things, okay? It's a whole bunch of things pounding on top of each other until the load gets too big, all right? So we don't really know the reason, but we're pretty sure it contributed to it. Okay, that this guy, this asshole, broke his mom's heart, broke Zach's mom's heart, and because of that, she killed herself. I don't think that's the reason, but I think it was a part of the reason. I think a lot of it, more of it had to do with being a fucking single mom in the the mid 70s. Which I mean, today it's common, but back then it wasn't quite that common yet. Okay, it hadn't really become mainstream yet. Okay, in the mid 70s like it is today. Okay, it was kind of an anomaly. Okay, there was still a big portion of the population that looked down on single moms back then. Okay, it's not like it is today. Okay, where single moms are actually more praised in the media than married moms. Okay, so get the fuck out of here with this bullshit. Anyway, so it was a different time back then. Okay, so I think that contributed to her suicide, but we don't really know for sure. All we know is how it affected Zach. It really bothered him a lot. Okay, and he took that on his dad. So he doesn't like his dad either. Okay, I think he loves his dad. He offers his dad, hey, you know what? I'm gonna be going to officer candidate school. It's only a couple hours away from here in Seattle. You can come visit me if you want. His dad's, I ain't gonna go visit you. So he's like, okay, never mind. You know, and then he leaves, okay? So, yeah, he doesn't have a very clear, he tries to be close to his dad, but his dad's still an asshole, and guess what? Zach's an asshole too, so he can't be bothered with trying to fix a relationship with his father, okay? He's not gonna try to do it, and I don't really blame him, he really doesn't know how. And that's the problem here. Yes, he is an asshole, okay, but talking from experience, because I have acted this way before in the past, and sometimes I still kind of do act this way, okay? One of the reasons I love this movie, because I can relate to it, okay, is a lot of the reason that he acts this way, okay, is because he doesn't know better. Okay, he's very ignorant, and some things he's very good at that other guys are not good at. You know, but in other things he's very ignorant. Okay, he doesn't really understand that you have to sacrifice in order to get things. Okay, he doesn't really understand that, you know, to build a relationship with his dad is going to cost it costs something. It's going to require an investment on his part. Okay, but because he doesn't know how to do that. He doesn't know how to fucking put a part of himself on the line, you know, and just leave it there for anybody to run over it. He doesn't know how to do that. Okay, he doesn't understand that because his dad doesn't understand that because his dad never taught him that. Okay, so a lot of the mistakes that he makes, a lot of the reason he acts this way is just because he doesn't know any better. He really just doesn't know any better. He's only fucking, what, 26 years old in this movie? Yeah, he's a fucking kid as well, okay? So anyway, he goes over to the fucking place, okay? Port Rainier is where they have the OCS, Officer Candidate School, for pre-flight school for the guys that want to be fucking pilots and shit in the Navy. So he checks in there, okay? He's there with all the other fucking recruits, but they don't call them recruits. I was in the boot camp and they called us recruits, but they're called candidates. When you're going to officer school, you're called candidates. When you're going to regular basic training or boot camp like me, okay? In the Army, they call it basic training. In the Marine Corps, they call it boot camp or recruit training. We're called recruits, not candidates, okay? Officers, they're called candidates, all right? So he shows up there, and we're introduced to Gunnery Sergeant Emil Foley, who's going to be their drill instructor. Basically, the guy that fucking marches them from place to place, from class to class, to the chow hall, back to the barracks. He tells them what to do. He fucking yells at them. He gets them all disciplined. You know, that's his job, okay? He's basically the platoon sergeant. His job is to fucking be the mom and dad of this fucking platoon of candidates, okay? So the first thing, of course, he does, he's going to talk shit to them and tell them how they're all fucking a bunch of slimy worms, and they don't rate being in the school, and he's never had a more pathetic bunch of losers as this class, and blah, blah, blah. And he keeps telling them that most of you guys are going to fucking drop out. You know, you're going to get a DOR, dropped on request, okay? Which means that most of you aren't cut out for the Navy. You're not going to make it through the school. You're not going to graduate through the school. You're not going to make it to your $1 million worth of fucking flight instruction that the Navy will provide you if you graduate this fucking school, you know, that kind of thing. You're not gonna be able to sell the skills that we teach you to United Airlines unless you get by me. You know, having been in boot camp myself, let me tell you, this guy was being real nice to them, okay? I went through boot camp, okay? And it sure as fuck wasn't like this. It was a fuck lot worse. First of all, it wasn't just one guy yelling at you. It was like 4 guys yelling at you, okay? So you were getting yelled at in surround sound. Okay, and they got right in your fucking face, and if they fucking had to touch you, they fucking touched you. Now this was in the 90s when I went in. Today, I'm pretty sure fucking if they accidentally touch you, then they'll show you exactly what officer to report them on, you know, and then they'll apologize and suck your dick too, okay? And you are allowed to have pink hair, you know, and identify as a woman. You're allowed to do all that shit today in today's military, but back when I went through, you weren't allowed to do that shit, okay? They could rough you up if they wanted to, because the other drill instructors would just cover for them, all right? The recruits aren't worth their shit. They don't give you any fucking respect. You have to earn respect, okay? And they get right in your fucking face and they'll call you every fucking name in the book. Now, technically, they're not allowed to swear. They're not allowed to use adult words, but they do it, okay? They do it, all right? Yeah, you just be the guy that tells on them and see what happens to fucking you, okay? Exactly. You ever heard of a fucking blanket party? Watch Full Metal Jacket. That shit's fucking real. I've seen it. Okay, anyway, so that's going on. They're fucking yelling at him. You know, they're yelling at everybody. He's making fun of everybody. He notices Zach Mayo. He finds out his name. You know, mayonnaise. You know, he calls him that, you know. He notices that he's got a bandage on his arm. Well, the reason Zach put the bandage there is to cover up this big tattoo that he got when he was in the Philippines. Okay, so the gunnery sergeant recognized the style of the tattoo. Okay, it's from a Navy base in the fucking Philippines. It's a picture of a phoenix, you know, a guy rises from the ashes, all that kind of fucking shit. It's a fake bird, okay? So, you know, you should be grateful for that tattoo. Those are the only wings you're going to get. Mayonnaise. You know, he tells him that. But otherwise, this guy is very sharp. I mean, the creases on his uniform, you could fucking cut paper with them. I know, I've had to do that to my uniform as well. When I was in the, I mean, hey, fucking inspection is no fucking joke, man. Let me tell you something, okay? Uniform inspection is no fucking joke in the military, okay? And the Marines, they're more hard-assed about it than all the other branches of service, all right? So yeah, you better look fucking 100% fucking sharp, okay, when you're in that fucking uniform. Even today, I look at my uniform, which is still hanging back there in the closet, man, and I'm like, damn, I gotta keep that shit fucking nice. nice. Even though I don't wear it anymore, I can still fit in it. Go figure. But yeah, keep that shit fucking nice, man. It's drilled in you. It's beat into your fucking head that uniform is a reflection of you. It's a reflection of the Marine Corps. You're not wearing that to represent yourself. You're wearing it to represent the fucking United States Marine Corps. You see what I mean? So yeah, it's this fucking, no smoking and joking, dude. It's dead on serious, all right? So he's a very serious guy, very intense guy, and that's what drill instructors are. But like I said, compared to the drill instructors that I had at fucking MCRD, fucking San Diego, this guy's a fucking fairy godmother, man. Holy shit, dude. This guy might as well be a fucking counselor. All right, anyway, so moving right along, that's going on here. Okay, they get marched into their barracks, all right? What do you call it? They get marched into their barracks there, it calls them mayonnaise, typical talking down. He does point out one of the guys there, this Mexican guy named Emilio de la Sera. He's one of the shorter guys there. He just graduated college. He's got a fucking, Puerto Rican fucking afro. And and what do you call it? And gunnery sergeants talk shit to him. Tells him, De La Sera, everybody see this stick right here. This is a notch for everyone that fucking drops on their own. Everybody that quits on their own. DOR, and you're gonna be one of the first ones to quit, De La Sera. That kind of thing. And he also points out one of the other main characters, Sid. What's his name? Sid Worley. I think that's his name. Keith David's character. What is his name here? Sid something. Yeah. David Key, yeah, Sid Worley. Okay, Sid Worley's there with his fucking mullet and shit. Dude, I look. He looks at him. He's like, yes, you. So he said, what'd you call me? Did you call me a you? A you is a female sheep. Do I look like a sheep to you? Is that what you think I am, huh? You want to fuck me in the ass, don't you? You want to fuck me in the ass, huh? That kind of thing. No, sir. The typical shit that they did to us in fucking boot camp. Trying to slip us up. Yeah. What'd you say? You're not allowed to say I in boot camp. You have to say this recruit. Stupid shit like this movie brings back so many fucking memories. Anyway, so that's going on here, okay? So they take him to go get fucking their hair cut and shit. Get the buzz, because they call him scrotum head, and he thinks that's funny. Dude, that's a fucking old joke. Yes, we all get our fucking heads shaved in the military. So the first thing they do is they march into the fucking barbershop. And let me tell you something, okay? My own experience at MCRD San Diego, the fucking barbers that are there treat you like shit too, and they're fucking civilians. They're not even in the military. And they treat you like shit too. So yeah, you get no respect from anybody. Anybody, all right? Okay, so in this scene here, while the guys are waiting in line to get their fucking heads shaved, we're introduced to the other two main characters, Paula and Lynette, played by Deborah Winger. She plays Paula, and Lynette is played by Lisa Blount, okay? Lynette's the blonde, and Paula's the brunette, okay? And they work in a factory. Think fucking Laverne and Shirley, okay? Only they're not making beer. They're making fucking cardboard and paper, okay? They work in a stationary factory, okay? You talk about a bullshit job, okay? You just work there all day in a fucking factory. Think Laverne and Shirley with the fucking thing, the Aunt Jemima thing, bandana around their head, all that fucking shit, okay? So that's what they're working. They got a fucking shitty life, okay? We find out later on that not only does Paula and Lynette work there, but Paula's mom also works there, okay? So it's a family thing to live in this fucking shithole town. Now, every military base has a shithole town right outside, okay? That's where the civilians live, okay? And all you're gonna see there outside of the military base, and every fucking military base, is the town outside is always gonna be nothing but fucking titty bars and fucking tattoo parlors, okay? And maybe there's a mall a few miles down the way, and that's fucking it. The rest of it's fucking trailer parks, and low rent apartments and shit like that, okay? Because basically they cater to the fucking military. So everything that's out there off the base is catered to the military, okay? So there's not a lot of money involved in that unless you own like fucking the 17 Burger Kings that are right outside the military base. Unless you're something like that, you're not really gonna make that much money, okay? So it's not a bunch of rich people living outside of the military base, is what I'm trying to say, okay? And it's also a lot of fucking people that aren't used to living there, okay? What I mean is, whenever a woman marries a guy and he gets stationed to a military base, then usually what happens is if they don't want to live on base, they live out in the town right next to the base, okay? So there's a lot of women there living there that are from other places. They're just living there because their husbands are stationed there, okay? That's how you get to have sex with them. Anyway, yeah, but I ain't gonna talk about that, not yet. Anyway, moving right along. No, don't do that, it's bad. All right, bad karma. Okay, so anyway, so we're introduced to them, okay? Now, while we're seeing them, we go back to the haircut line, okay? And Gunnery Sergeant Foley tells the recruits there that, listen, not all the fucking obstacles they're gonna have to overcome are on this fucking base. He says right outside this island, because they're on an island, okay, there's the Puget Sound Ferry, okay, which goes from the mainland to this island every day, okay? And the women that live over there, they get on that ferry every fucking day and they come over here. the young women, yeah, they come over here, all right? You know, and their job here, okay, is they leave early to catch the ferry, okay? You know, and he says it's called the Puget Sound Ferry on the weekends. Okay, sorry, not every day, on the weekends. Okay, and what their job is, what their goal is they come over here every weekend because they know that's when the officer candidates have liberty. And what their goal is to fucking get a Navy candidate, a naval officer, okay, soon to be naval officer, to fall in love with them and marry them. And what's the best way to do that is to get fucking pregnant, all right? So yeah, so why do these women do that? Well, they do that for several reasons, okay? I've met women like this, okay? When I checked into my MOS school, MOS means Military Occupational Specialty. When I checked into my MOS school in Fort Knox, and yes, I know it's an Army base and I was a Marine, but that's where the Marines Corps, that's where the Marines train. It's on our Army base, Fort Knox, Kentucky. That's where we trained to learn about tanks, the M1A1s. Okay, that's our tank school there. All the tank schools is there, okay? So we were the only Marines on an Army base, but we checked in there. When I got off the bus to check into my duty station there at tank school, there was all the fucking girls across the street at the parking lot. They knew what time our bus was gonna arrive and we were gonna fucking get off the bus and check in to our station. Okay, they knew our training schedule better than we did. They knew exactly what day we were gonna arrive and what time the bus was gonna get there. So they were fucking waiting across the street in the parking lot, dressed all fucking sexy because it was the middle of summer when I checked in. Okay, I think it was summer of '96. Yeah, when I checked in, and they're all there and they're fucking Daisy Dukes and shit, and their halter tops, you know, and they're screaming at us, smoking their cigarettes. They're all covered in tattoos with their sunglasses and shit. Yeah, and they're hollering at us. Yeah, a bunch of girls hollering at us. Well, some of them were ugly, but some of them were really pretty too. Okay, so yeah, so they knew we were gonna be there. Now we weren't allowed to talk to them yet until we had checked in and all that kind of stuff, you know. But they were there hollering at us, you know. So I thought that was kind of weird. And I remember the first thing I thought of when I saw that was I thought about this movie, Officer and Gentleman. Holy shit. These girls were right here. That movie was true. Okay, so I remember checking into my duty station there and seeing that, and I immediately thought about this movie. Okay, so he warns them all. He goes like, you know, these women, they're going to come over here. They're going to try to seduce you, and they're going to try to get you to marry them. Okay, they're going to try to get pregnant. Okay, so they can marry one of you so they can get the fuck out of this shithole town. This is their meal ticket. You all are their meal ticket, is basically what he's telling them. Okay? Everyone knows that once you graduate school here, you're going to go off into your duty station. You're going to go to another school where you're actually going to get to fly the jets there, you know, and then you're going to go, then you're going to be stationed somewhere else, you know, probably on the other side of the planet. Okay? And since they're married to you, they get to go with you too. And the government's going to pay for it. You see what I mean? So they get a lot of benefits. Okay? You know, you get TRICARE. TRICARE is the insurance, the health insurance that the military uses. That covers everything. The military pays for everything, any sort of surgery, and you know, if you have a baby, you know, it's $50 to have a fucking baby. The military will pay for everything. They'll pay for your housing. They'll give you a food allowance. You know, they'll even provide you with a bunch of fucking guys for you to cheat on your fucking husband with. Okay? They'll give you everything. Everything you could possibly want. What girl's gonna say no to that? You know, to get out of that fucking shithole little jerkwater town she's living in, where she's got to work at the fucking paper factory with her fucking mom. Come on, it's got to be a fucking living hell. No wonder these girls want to get the fuck out of there. You know, they want to see the world. How else are they gonna afford to go see the world and go to different exotic places and shit? Yeah, you marry a fucking guy. You find a fucking sucker. You know, that falls in love with you like that. You tell him you're pregnant. Boom, there you go. You know, let's face it, okay? In a military base, I mean, the men outnumber the women. About 150 to 1, okay? So the women pretty much got their pick of fucking suckers out there that are gonna fucking fall in love with them like that. You know? So come on, you know? Even the ugly girls were getting guys, okay? Even the ugly girls had their pick of guys, okay? That's what it's like in the fucking military. Anyway, yeah, so that's going on here. Now, while he's giving her that speech, we get to see Lynette and Paula, and what they do is they get all excited. They're going to clock out early from their factory job. You know, you see them, they run out of there real quick, okay, and they jump in their car, and they start driving towards Puget Sound to catch the ferry. They want to catch the last ferry before they miss it, all right? And while they're doing that, they're taking turns getting dressed in the car, okay? So Paula's in the shotgun, and she's getting dressed. She's taking off her jeans and her fucking shirt and shit and her hat, and she's putting on a dress, and she's doing her hair and her makeup and shit and her shoes, you know, and then they pull over. Paula jumps out of the seat, and fucking Lynette goes from the driver's seat to the passenger seat so she can do the same thing, put on her dress and take off her shit, and that way Paula can drive the rest of the way. So they're on a fucking mission to get to that fucking ferry, okay? And that's what they do. And we see that. And they're listening, I think, to Joan Jett and shit in the car, okay? And they're smoking cigarettes the whole fucking time. Yeah, that's the kind of women these girls are. Hey, By the way, guys, if you're guys that are watching, women, you already know this, but guys, if you're watching this, okay, a girl who smokes cigarettes, okay, yeah, that's a red flag, okay? Don't ever fucking have a girlfriend that smokes cigarettes, okay? Even if you smoke yourself, don't ever have a girlfriend that smokes cigarettes, all right? Because, yeah, you're gonna get fucked over, okay? It's a red flag. I found it to be true 100% of the time, okay? Okay? It's a red flag. I'm not saying don't have sex with them. I'm saying don't get serious with them, all right? All right, moving right along. That's a tip from me to you. Okay, and women, you know it's fucking true, so don't give me any of that bullshit. Hey, you being sexy? Get the fuck out of here. All right, anyway, so that's going on, okay, so, so they run over there, okay, and the candidates, they get marched, okay, gunnery sergeant marches them to the barracks where they're gonna be living, okay. Mayo gets to his room first. There's 4 bunks in there. He switches the helmet of Daniels, okay. The helmet says Daniels on it. He switches that helmet and puts it on the bottom bunk because he wants the top bunk. And he puts the Mayo helmet, that's his, and puts it on the top to make it look like he was assigned the top bunk when he really wasn't. So already we're being introduced to Mayo's character. He is an asshole, he's a manipulator, okay. He has no problem cheating and doing things if he knows he can get away with it. If he thinks he can get away with it, he will do it. So he's not a nice guy. Mayo is not a nice guy at all. All right, and we already know where he gets that from, but okay, but he's there on a mission. He's not just there to fucking graduate school. He's there to still try to get away with the kind of petty shit that he did before he joined. All right. So he is a manipulator. Okay, he goes into formation outside because Gunnery Sergeant Foley is telling everyone, move, get outside. You, give me 50. You, give me 50. That kind of shit. So he's basically doing the drill instructor thing where you're being rushed. Okay, hey, they did it to me too in boot camp. Fucking when we got there in boot camp, we were rushed everywhere. We got yelled at the whole fucking time for the first fucking 2 days. I was not allowed to sleep for 2 fucking days when I checked into boot camp. All right, yeah, that's all. And the whole time you're being rushed. You're signing shit, you're getting shots, you're taking out, you're getting new clothes, you get your head shaved, you're being marched from place to sign waivers and take pictures, all this kind of bullshit, man. It's fucking insane. All right, so they go into formation outside, okay, and Mayo makes a little joke, okay, because there's a girl in their class named Seagar, but they call her Seagar, okay, she's a pretty girl, but now she's got short hair. She had long hair when she checked in, now she got short hair, and they're all standing there in formation, and there's a Mayo talking to Sid Worley, okay, Sid, and he's telling, hey, you know what the gunnery sergeant forgot to mention was all the men out there that are trying to get the women pregnant. Yeah, see what they do is they take the condom and they poke a little hole in it. Okay, that way the girl thinks that she's not going to get pregnant, but he's really got a hole in that condom. So when he comes, she finds it funny, and I thought it was funny as hell too. Unfortunately, the drill instructor overheard this. He didn't find it funny, so he pulled Seagar, Worley, and Mayo out of formation and told them to start fucking doing push-ups. Okay, since you want to run your sucks. Because that's what they were doing. They were running their sucks. That's how we called it, okay? Okay, so that's going on here, okay? Mayo and Seager, okay, and they're trying to get girls, so they're forced to do push-ups for running their sucks, okay? And now Seager, obviously being a girl, she can't really do push-ups the way men can, okay? And so so of course, drill instructor Foley tells her, okay, get up and get back in line, okay? He ain't gonna make her because she's a woman. Yeah, how's that for fucking male privilege? The woman doesn't have to do the same shit as men. She's not held to the same standards as men. And let me tell you something, it was that way when I was in too, okay? And I was in the 90s, this movie takes place in the early 80s, okay? But yeah, the women don't do the same things that we do, okay? First of all, I didn't go to boot camp with any women. No women were allowed. They keep the men and the women separated. Probably not today, okay? But back then, they kept the women and the men separate. Okay, so I did not go boot camp with any women. There were no women in my class, okay? I didn't work with women until I got out to the fleet. Okay, they kept them separate for a fucking reason, okay? And the women had different PFT standards. They had different everything than we did. Okay, they didn't have to run 2 miles like we did. Well, actually, they did have to run 2 miles, but we had to run it within I think it was 30 minutes or something, or 25 minutes. I don't remember for sure. I think it was 26 minutes. We had to run that mile. I ran it in fucking 17 or something because I'm fast. But it was 2 miles or some shit, or 4 miles. I don't remember. But the girls, yeah, they got fucking 2 hours to run it. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. Their standards are nothing like ours. Nothing at all. They don't have to do as many pull-ups as we do. None of this shit because they're girls. Okay, which is weird. And if they're girls, then why are they getting fucking paid the same as me if they don't do the fucking shit that I have to do? You see what I mean? That's how I thought. But yeah. Try arguing that to fucking Congress. Anyway, so that's going on here. Okay. And the women weren't allowed in combat when I was in either. All right. So that's going on here. Okay. And he takes pity on her and lets go back in formation. Meanwhile, Mayo and Worley have to keep fucking, doing their push-ups there. Now across the area there's this little clubhouse, and we can see Paula and Lynette. Now they're looking fucking hot as shit. Okay, they're wearing their summer dresses on, really tight summer dresses. Lynette's tits are really popping out. She's the blonde. They're both pretty fucking sexy. I gotta admit, they're both pretty fucking sexy. Both of them. I have both of them. Okay, I would. Absolutely. And they know they look fucking good. And so they walk by. The only reason they caught that ferry, they wanted to catch that ferry to get there, is so that they could show themselves off to the new class. That's the only reason they fucking did it. That's the only reason they were in a hurry. They had no real business being there. They just be there because they wanted to see who all the new recruits were going to be and show off their ass and show off their legs and smile at them, and kind of make them, drive them fucking crazy, okay? So that when they come back on the weekends, to do the social mingling thing that all the fucking hot young girls do from that shithole town that they're in, that hopefully they can catch someone's attention, okay? You see, so they're on a mission, like Gunnery Sergeant said, they're there to fucking nab a guy, to capture a guy and fucking trap him and fucking put a ring on it so that she can fucking leave that shithole town. Okay, that's exactly what they're trying to do. All right. And of course, they notice, the girls notice Mayo and Worley there doing push-ups, and she says, and Lynette says, see you in a month when you get liberty. See you in a month when you get liberty. And then Paula says like, oh, it grows about an inch by then. Okay, and they walk away, shaking their hips and shit, on purpose. Trying to drive the guys crazy. And it's true, the girls do that. They fucking do that. Okay, and the guy then fucking says like, oh, man, it grown more than an inch. Yeah, get the fuck out of here, man. Hey, let me tell you, that is also true about men in the military. Okay, when we're in basic training, we're cut off from pussy. There's no pussy for us in basic training, okay? So yeah, we're a bunch of horny motherfuckers. Whenever we see a woman, we're just like, think of that movie Cool Hand Luke. Okay, there's a movie called Cool Hand Luke. It came out back in the 60s with Paul Newman and George Kennedy. All right? And there's a scene in there where all the prisoners, they're in a chain gang, and they're working on the highway, and they look over and they see a hot fucking blonde with big ass titties washing her car, and she's putting on a show for them. The guys are just like, they are so fucking horny, they're about to lose their fucking shit. Well, that's exactly, and the girls know that. That's why they act that way. That's why they dress that way. They know that we have no fucking pussy. They know there's no pussy around for us. I mean, even us, we saw that when we were marched around and we saw a woman walking by, we were just like, we just like, and the drill instructors knew that, and they would make fun of us. Oh, ain't no pussy for you, recruit. That kind of shit, Or we'd be in class, we've been there for months, none of us have been laid since before we came in, and the instructor would be like, hey, I was at the club last night fucking these two white girls and shit, and we're all just like, and he's doing that on purpose to piss us off because he knows damn well we haven't been laid in fucking forever. It fucking sucks, man. That's the part they don't show you in this movie. Well, I guess they showed you here. They don't ever talk about that at the recruiting station though, but it's true. All right. So that's going on here, okay? The next day they're doing PT, which is physical training, physical exercise. They have to do it every morning, okay? In the morning and the beach, they're doing running, okay? They're running on the beach, okay? Of course, Gunnery Sergeant's leading the run, okay? You're going for a run. Usually it's a few miles, okay? And he's doing cadence. That's where you're going like delayed cadence, that's where you're basically singing. You've seen it in the movies where you're singing while you're running, okay? Well, it's called cadence, okay? Batman and I got into a fight. Batman and I got into a fight. Fought all day, we fought all night. Fought all day, we fought all night. I took off my boot and I hit him with my heel. Took off my boot and I hit him with my heel. Now I'm driving the Batmobile. Now I'm driving the Batmobile saying, yayo, yayo, leo, 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 leo. Yeah, I still remember. Lefty, righty, yo, lefty, righty, yo, yo. I still remember that. Yeah, we do that almost every morning in PT, almost every fucking morning. Okay, and so that's what we're seeing. We're seeing here, but they're running along the beach, and while they're running, they're talking, which they're not supposed to be doing. Okay, they're supposed to be doing cadence. Again, they're talking about who wants to be what, and Mayo says he wants to be a fucking fighter pilot jet, he wants to fly jets, and Seeger, the girl, says she wants to fly jets, and then Worley says like, hey, only like two candidates from every class ever get to fly jets. And he's like, well, we're the two that are gonna do it, that kind of shit. And of course, Gunnery Sergeant Foley here, so you still want to run your sucks? Just for that, we're adding 10 miles. We're adding 2 miles to this little run. For everybody. So now everybody, and that's true. When one person fucks up in class, the whole fucking platoon has to fucking pay for it. That's absolutely 100% true. One person fucks it up, the whole platoon pays for it. That's exactly how it is in boot camp. All right, I'm gonna stop my review right here, but I'll be back shortly to continue my review of Officer and Gentleman. I thank you very much for watching this long, and I will see you soon on the next one. Bye.